Hello and welcome to the Up Your Service webinar series, Serving to Win, Global Best Practices in Achieving Sustainable Service Culture. Today, we're going to learn about the service culture transformation within LUX Resorts and Hotels. This Mauritius-based resorts and hotel organization helps people to celebrate life by delivering consistently on the promise of a different kind of luxury. Hospitality that is lighter and brighter. Hosting the Global Serving to Win webinar series, I'm Ron Kaufman, the founder and chairman of Up Your Service. And with me today are three extraordinary individuals who made the culture transformation an ongoing journey at LUX Resorts. Joining us from LUX today are Nicholas Autry, Chief Human Resources Officer. Nicholas is responsible for the overall strategies, policies, and practices that are linked to management, learning, and development of all the human resources in line with the LUX Resorts vision, purpose, and values. The second section of today's webinar will be presented by Smita Modak. Smita is the Group Training Manager at LUX Resorts. She is responsible for the training function and is closely involved in overall HR projects within the group. Her experience in human resources spans 5 countries, where she specializes in pre-opening and reopening resorts. And our third section today will be with Afif Hussain, Director of Training, Development, and Quality Assurance at LUX Maldives. Experienced in the areas of HR strategy, talent, performance management, and learning and development, Afif has been in the hospitality industry for over 13 years. So let's start with you, Nicholas. Please, let's dive right in. Tell us more about LUX Resorts.
Thank you, Ron. LUX Resorts and Hotels, we operate a total of 10 resorts in Mauritius, Maldives, Reunion Island, China, and we are looking forward to a great project, a very exciting one, in the UAE in 2016. We were formerly known as Nayad Resorts and rebranded to form LUX Resorts and Hotels on December 1st, 2011. We are listed on the stock exchange in Mauritius and are an affiliate member of GML, formerly known as Groupe Mont-Loisier, which is a major economic player in the Indian Ocean and first in the top 100 on the Mauritius companies. We currently have around 2,800 team members belonging to more than 25 different nationalities.
So, Nicholas, thanks for the overview. Can you tell us a little bit about the past? Where were you when we got started on this transformation?
In fact, in 2008, as we all know, came one of the worst global economic crises. Prior to that, we were doing very well. In 2008, the crisis hit, and our financial situation resembled very closely to this image of a patient in ICU. We were accumulating very heavy losses, high costs, and couldn't meet our commitments, mainly because we had reopened close to 4 resorts in that same crisis. This crisis had really adverse effects across the world and as well as in Mauritius, which is a long-haul destination. With Europe being our main feeder market, we suffered a huge drop in occupancies and room rates, with a consequent drop in our share price coupled with a lot of negative publicity in the media. We went basically from being a very profitable company to a non-profitable one in a matter of 2 years following the crisis. Team member morale was at an all-time low, and we were facing imminent risks of going out of business. So in October 2010, with the joining of our new CEO, Mr. Paul Jones, we did a serious evaluation of the situation. Knowing where we were, we decided to make drastic changes on several fronts to clearly define where we wanted to be in the years to come. We came together to literally bury the past in terms of the way we think, work, and deals with each other and our business. It was time to relight the fire. The leadership team came together to craft our new vision purpose. We took the time to ponder deeply the values that we had in common and that would enable us to build a company which we could be proud of. In February 2011, the CEO, the general managers, and the senior managers of the group started the rollout process of our company's ideology, the VPV, Vision, Purpose, and Values. This exercise was undertaken in 3 main phases. The first phase was done personally by the CEO, who did close to 30 sessions, visiting each hotel personally to share with the team members our new vision, purpose, and values. In phase 2, engagement, the general managers roll out the engagement workshops to all their team members. At this phase, we ensured that our vision, purpose, and values were understood by everyone as the foundation of our operations and our upcoming brand. In phase 3, enroll and pledge, the aim was to be unified and bound together with a common purpose. Everyone pledged to always abide by our ideology. Our ideology is available in 4 languages: English, French, Creole, and Mandarin. We encourage our team members to live our ideology even outside work, as there is always an opportunity to make each moment matter for our family and loved ones. Our values express what our company believes in, essential and enduring tenets that shape the way we behave. To help communicate our values, we developed a simple yet powerful visual mnemonic, an open hand, which was adopted as a symbol of our values. We also supported the 6-month rollout process by developing high-quality communication collateral to help reinforce the points people have heard. Simultaneously, in June 2011, something amazing happened. We started our partnership with At Your Service with a clear focus on building an uplifting service culture. We welcome you to Mauritius and Maldives for initiation workshops in which we covered all our 2,800 team members across the group.
I remember those events very well. They were incredibly exciting and uplifting, full of energy.
Indeed. In August 2011, we had the Train the Trainer workshops. Some of us went to Singapore, then the master trainer Lai Chen came to Mauritius, and we developed our in-house team of certified course leaders for the program, Achieving Superior Service. Smita will cover in detail in a section about how this was done. With several efforts ongoing on various fronts, in a matter of 1 year, we were ready for rebranding. On December 3rd, 2011, LUX Resorts was rebranded as LUX Resorts and Hotels. Today we have a brand with a unique concept. We call it Local Light. Local stands for the place where our resorts are located. Light refers to an experience with a different kind of luxury. Local would focus on the nature and culture of the place where our resorts are located. Light would focus on creating experiences that are lightweight and light-hearted, in line with our creative principles. Today, our brand is recognized in the trade, and we are all proud to work for LUX. Our resorts are gaining popularity with our repeat ratio increasing year on year. Our guests are constantly talking about us on the various social media platforms. We have a huge expansion plans for management contracts, and several parties have shown keen interest to partner with LUX. Our change process started in February 2011, and you will see here the upward trend in our overall financials since then. Revenues have gone up, and so have EBITDA and overall profit.
Wow, Nicholas, from crashing over a 2-year period after the financial crisis where you were threatened with almost going out of business, this is a dramatic change in the financial picture.
Yeah, this is I think a Harvard Business Review case study. So our average occupancy is stabilizing at the 70s. TripAdvisor is the most popular platform used by our guests to plan their vacation world over, as we all know. As Naiad, none of our hotels made it to the top list. Today, out of 5 resorts in Mauritius, we have 4 featuring among the top 10. One of them not being even a LUX. This is a result of real-time excellent feedback from our guests.
Let me ask you a question about this, Nicholas. You got 4 out of the top 10 in Mauritius from the LUX group. In the top 10, how many hotels are there in Mauritius that we're competing with?
175.
So out of 175 hotel properties in the island of Mauritius, 4 out of the top 10 are in your group, and prior to this transformation, none of them were in the top 10.
Yeah, and one of them, as I just mentioned, is not even branded LUX, but follows everything they can in terms of the brand, and basically came out from being ranked above 40, in the 40s ranking, and now is in the top 5.
Terrific, terrific. What about outside of Mauritius?
Our resorts overseas also feature among the top 10 both in Maldives and Réunion. All this has been possible with tireless efforts from the team members with a clear focus from top management. We are all truly united in our purpose of helping people celebrate life. I will now invite Smita to further elaborate on our learning and development initiatives, which have helped us to build a very unique service culture at LUX Resorts and Hotels. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. You've done a great job here of showing us where you were, what you went through as far as the structural change, and where you are today. But you and I both know that structural change, just changing the brand or the promise that you make, that's not actually going to change people's perceptions. It's not going to cause amazing feedback in TripAdvisor score. It's not going to result in the dramatic increase in occupancy and in room rate that you've been able to achieve and in profitability. So what we really want to hear now from Smita is about, well, how did you guys actually do that? What were the main areas of focus that enabled you to bring about this transformation? Smita?
Hello, Ron, and hello, everyone listening in. At LUX, we have 5 main areas of focus, Ron, in terms of learning and development. It's technical, of course, training we need to perform efficiently in our departments. And a large part of our technical training is done on the job. Leadership is a huge focus. We have several leadership development programs done in-house, as well as through partnership with organizations like the John Maxwell Company. Language is a huge focus again. We need to ensure we are able to customize our service to our changing market mix over the last couple of years, as we've started inviting or started seeing a rise in guests from China and Russia. Generic training, of course, which helps us to ensure that all our team members are equally equipped to deal with operations and guest issues. And a very large part is service culture, where we focus on building an uplifting service culture so that we can deliver service that is. We started the journey towards building an uplifting service culture in June 2011, where the entire then Naiad Resorts team went through an engagement session conducted by you in Mauritius and Maldives, and we also covered the overseas locations through online streaming. The next step was to launch Course 100, Achieving Superior Service from Up Your Service, as the means to building a firm foundation of actionable service education for all our team members. So we had over 30 team members become certified course leaders, and the course was delivered across the company in English and French in 2 phases from September 2011 to October 2012. As at today, Course 100 Achieving Superior Service is a mandatory program that all new team members go through and is part of the 3-day LUX orientation program. Our course leaders came from diverse backgrounds, which was great because they helped us to deliver the course customized to our operations with great examples from within the team. And what we have here is the rollout of Achieving Superior Service. As I said earlier, was planned in 2 phases. The first chart in blue shows phase 1, which we started the rollout exactly 3 months before our rebranding and completed 2 parts of the course curriculum. The idea here to have it in 2 phases was to get the team involved in describing actions which were below desire, and of course to gear up to deliver surprising level of service as part of our new brand identity. With a lot of success, we managed to complete phase 1 in January 2012. And the second phase, which is seen in the green chart, started in May 2012 after our rebranding. And here we focused on the 2 remaining parts of Achieving Superior Service. The course was completed in October 2012. And I think because of the phased approach, we managed to have a buy-in from all our team members who genuinely found this education valuable and something they could use in day-to-day work.
Yeah, I like the way that you did that, where you took what was designed as a 2-day course and started by introducing half of it. And then everybody learned that together and absorbed the language and took on the principles and the practices. And then you were able to come back again with the next half of the program. Very good.
We had an exciting time with this training, and as an offshoot, what we see here is on the 6 levels of service from Achieving Superior Service, we added our own 7th level of service. At LUX, this is called the LUX Shining level. We describe it as delivering beyond unbelievable service. So LUX Shining is our highest level of service at LUX Resorts and Hotels. And when we say let's do LUX Shining, everyone understands the expectations. We'll also look at some other focused culture building activities that have taken place in the last couple of years, which have helped us to be where we are. Starting with January 2013, where we brought together all our star team members from across the company to sincerely thank them for their efforts in making each moment matter for our guests. Our STARS program, like many other recognition programs, selects 1 team member each month from each resort to win the monthly award. And in this company-wide gathering, the Star Team Member of the Year for each hotel is announced and awarded. This is in fact a step towards cultivating what our CEO, Paul Jones, feels in an attitude of gratitude. Thank everyone sincerely.
So in this photograph, we're really looking at your superstars. These are each resort, 1 team member each month coming together for a real acknowledgement and celebration at the end of the year.
That's correct. That's correct.
What is this one, Smita? You've got us celebrating life together, and that's a picture of me in the middle of a circle of people doing what?
We're doing a lovely exercise called the chair exercise with not much success, but we had great fun. And we came together on a weekend in 2013 where our key team members came together to think of different ways to constantly innovate in our operations and keep creating something new for our guests and team members. You guided us through this wonderful process, and that's what you see here, us having fun. It was a group of about 70+ participants. We divided ourselves into smaller focus groups, and each group was assigned the task to list the different criteria that would help us create an internal innovation competition. And as a result, what we had, we came up with, at the end of the day, a very fine blueprint of the various ideas that the focus groups had worked on, a great day spent together. This core team agreed unanimously that as a company we ought to see as constantly innovating, and we were all set to what we now call the LUX Innovation Challenge. So our LUX Innovation Challenge is an annual competition in which all 9 resorts and 5 departments from the head office come together each year in different categories. Our first year, 2013, was dedicated to category 1, called Innovate to Increase Loyalty of Guests, where we had 13 teams competing with each other, and they contributed 26 super excellent ideas. It was a moment when we brought together hospitality experts, as you can see in this picture, to form our jury panel. They went through the ideas to select the top 5 ideas which were chosen for implementation across the group. And as a result, we were instantly in the local and the international spotlight for being amongst the very few companies to have started off an internal innovation contest. Some of our guests as well, Ron, participated in giving our teams valuable advice, how to define the ideas, etc. And of all the guests who we spoke to, most of them said they had never encountered anything like this and were extremely thrilled to be part of our innovation journey.
Especially with the topic on how to increase the loyalty of guests. And there they are, the guests themselves being able to contribute their own ideas.
Absolutely. We've continued on this path ever since, and this year our 13 teams contested on Category 2, Innovate to Increase Loyalty of Team Members. This category, of course, was completely dedicated to the well-being of our people, and again, some very excellent ideas were received. The winning team was one of our resorts in Mauritius, Tamasa, with their idea of Fiesta, which focuses on all-round experience designed for team members and their families. And again, the winning team took this a notch higher. They put this idea into the Worldwide Hospitality Awards for 2014, and it actually won the award for the best initiative in human resources at the recently concluded 15th edition of the Worldwide Hospitality Awards. I think it was held in Paris on November 17th.
Wow, that's exciting.
Indeed. And of course, it's a big boost to the LUX brand, and the Worldwide Hospitality Awards is something that is going on for the last 15 years, and it's a platform for international hotel industry. It's an event to showcase the most original initiatives and the most successful innovations. So that's where we were.
And we can see.
To see us.
You can see that you're right up there with some of the biggest names in the industry. You've got Malia and Hard Rock and Hilton, and there it is, LUX Resorts.
Indeed, indeed. With over 100 projects run, grouped over 18 categories, there were 54 finalists and winners. And we were selected through an online voting on Hospitality On, and of course with a panel of experts from the hoteliers and non-hoteliers forming the panel.
Who is this?
It was an exciting moment for Nitesh, the general manager of Tamasa Resort, who received the award on behalf of his team, and it was indeed a very proud moment for the entire team, not only for the Tamasa team but for the LUX team to be showcased on that international platform. So we are here to stay, and the challenge continues. 2015 is focusing on innovate to increase revenues, and we'll again have 14 teams participating with, I'm sure, a lot of interesting ideas coming forward.
So Category 1 was innovate to increase loyalty of guests. Category 2, innovate to increase loyalty of team members. And now Category 3, innovate to increase revenues in 2015.
That's correct. We have another initiative we started last year, which we call the LUX Uplifting Service Reading Group Discussions. In the last 1 year, we've spent focused time and energy in reading and learning from your book, Ron, the Uplifting Service Proven Path. It has been very effective to get our management team members to consciously allocate time to read the book, and not only to read but also work on individual initiatives which with their teams to put together and practice the core learnings. So we come together online on a pre-scheduled day with you presiding over the webinar, and each team has to present their answer to a specific question which I send out to them in advance. And it is truly exciting and very educating to see the individual presentations and hear the individual stories that each team has to tell. And we have over 150 participants signing in from 15 different locations, minimum 15 different locations, to take part in this group discussion. I think this has been the most unique experience for all of us, Ron.
It's been incredibly unique for me to do it with you as well. You're the first organization that has taken the book and turned it into a reading group project that's lasted a year.
Thank you, Ron. And here we have our first view of the 12 building blocks, which you introduced us to in June 2011. And what we've done is we've taken it, we've internalized it, we've looked at different things that we can do under each of the building blocks over the last 2 or 3 years. And what you see in the next slide is some of the initiatives that have been successfully launched under each building block. So this is what we do at LUX under each of the building blocks. And our management teams across all resorts are well versed with this structure, and they understand the importance of making sure we bring this to life literally every single day through the various initiatives we've devised. My colleague Afeez will focus a lot more on the different initiatives that have been put together at LUX Maldives and are driven by him in his section.
Smita, before we go on to the next slide, I'd just like to take a moment to look this one over. What you're saying is that for each of the 12 building blocks of service culture, you've identified, initiated, aligned, improved various activities, and you've done it in all 12 of the categories.
That's correct.
Fantastic. Again, to have so many of your team members understanding this architecture for building a service culture and to see how the company is doing something actively in each of the 12 categories, tremendous, tremendous contribution to building your culture.
Thank you, Ron. So, what I've shared till now, of course, is a lot of softer aspects of training and culture building at LUX, and unless it is coupled with how does it make a difference in our operations, there's no point. So I'd like to briefly show you how all this has resulted in our success. So I have a couple of internal and external measures. I'll start with the internal measures. We'll look at the yearly team member satisfaction survey and a little bit on our training hours for year on year. So here is a snapshot of the yearly team member satisfaction survey. I've taken at random 5 focus areas: acquired new knowledge, loyalty, training, equal access to training, which is very important for us, and pride. And under each of these, you can see the actual question that was asked to the team members. Here are the scores. So as you can see, a major shift from the mid-60s to the 70s, and in some cases a 10-point increase, as can be seen in the last measure of pride.
Well, that measure of pride is especially important, isn't it? Everything else really contributes to that sense of fulfillment and satisfaction and pride that each team member brings to work every day. And you don't need to be humble here, because your increase is actually more than 10%, more than 10 points.
Here at LUX, this slide shows how we measure the time that our team members spend in different kinds of training. It shows our gradual progress over the last 6 years, where we have gone from less than 4 man-hours of training to 70 hours at the end of June 2014, which is the end of our financial year. And interestingly, when we map this with our growth in turnover, which you can see in the blue line on top, the trend correlates. So, Ron, while there have been several measures put in place to increase our turnover, I think there is no doubt that better trained team members have largely contributed to our success.
Yeah, how nice to be able to see the actual financial impact directly correlated to the investment that you make in educating, training, supporting, coaching, mentoring, improving your team members' skills and capabilities.
Indeed, and we continue on this path. So our target for this financial year is very stiff. It's 75 man-hours of training per team member. We've already achieved 37 hours over the last 4 months between July and October. So I'm very confident we'll get there. We'll exceed the target pretty soon.
Terrific, and what a wonderful opportunity you have, given the variable and seasonal nature of the business, that when you have less occupancy, you can really focus on training, and then when you're in full occupancy around the holiday seasons and the high seasons, people are out to work, so they don't have time to train, but that doesn't mean that they didn't get training over the course of the whole year.
Indeed, indeed. And here, I would like to share a few external measures that quantify our success. Nicola, in his part, shared the TripAdvisor ratings of our resorts. And most of our resorts, as we saw, feature in the top 10 in our 3 destinations. What we'll see here is our feedback, our guest feedback on market matrix, and it is a great tool which turns guest feedback into business performance. And it is one of the largest and most in-depth measures of hotel, car rental, and airline performance available today. What I have for you here is the overall guest satisfaction scores for the months of August to October 2014, compiled from feedback received from close to 4,000 guests across all resorts. The blue lines show individual resort scores, while the maroon line closer to the top shows the overall score for Lux Resorts and Hotels. On an average, 80% of our resorts have a score of 90 or above, and a group average of 90.9, which is a humongous score.
Enormous and gorgeous to see.
So as I see Lux Resorts and Hotels very closely, we resemble this structure and it's evident of a knowledge-based enterprise. We have managed to convert technical knowledge, theoretical knowledge into knowledge that can be put into practice. It's our mission to develop a strong learning culture, and we've created a pool of over 300 in-house departmental trainers who contribute in spreading knowledge. So our goal is to keep increasing this pool so that we can seamlessly spread knowledge. We have a strong learning culture that allows us to transfer the knowledge across the company in a way that is not only understood but also utilized daily. And we've managed to create a culture which is very unique to Lux. And the culture drives people, not the other way around. So even if we have people leaving us, our culture is very much intact.
What's the way ahead, Smita? What are your plans going forward into the future? You've achieved such a successful transformation. What do you do next?
Well, we're going to continue on this journey definitely with a good investment in training to further enhance our service culture, which we've built over the last 3 years. We will be starting in a phased manner with course 300, Increasing Customer Loyalty, which will be launched in 2015, and course 200, Building Service Partnerships, planned for 2016. Besides, we will continue, as I said earlier, on our foundational course, Achieving Superior Service, as a mandatory program for all team members. Leadership enhancement is of prime importance for us again, and we'll have focused trainings and seminars being planned to equip our leaders so that we can effectively manage our team. We'll also now look at Lux Maldives as a specific case study being shared by my colleague Apeel, and he'll describe to us focused initiatives which are being successfully driven at the property.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Smita. Before we go over to Afif, I just want to take a moment and thank you and acknowledge you for being the person on the HR and the training and learning and development side for the whole group. I remember when we met, you yourself were a little bit concerned about whether or not this very aspirational new brand of Lux Resorts and lighter and brighter hospitality, we make each moment matter, helping people celebrate life, and where you were starting from was, as we saw Nicholas presented, practically in the intensive care unit. So your own concern, anxiety, is this going to be possible? But you really grabbed this with both hands, and you've done a spectacular job in bringing this out to more than 3,000 people over the 2 years, and a tremendous commercial success. So please accept this acknowledgement for you. I think the island of Mauritius is also grateful to you and your team for all it is that you've done.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks a lot, and it's such a pleasure to be part of Lux Resorts and Hotels. It's an absolute pleasure and pride for us to work here.
I was going to say, I was wondering whether you would also add the word pride, given how much that score went up.
Indeed, 100%.
Very good, thanks. So now we're going to pass this over to Afif Hussain, who will be able to share with us in specific, how did you do the implementation of this at the property level? And the example we're using is Maldives. Afif?
Yes, Ron, and thank you everyone for listening to this webinar. As we start to talk about Lux Maldives and how it has impacted our service culture and the employee engagement and the culture of our resort, I think it's quite important for us to highlight one key point here, that In the Maldives, you have about 112 resorts that are fully operational, very competitive, and of course got the same products. But I believe we have a competitive advantage by working with Up Your Service because it has really helped us to bring the right education and the right mindset to our employees using Up Your Service as our key partner in making a difference. Now let me share a few initiatives that have assisted us to differentiate our service culture from many other resorts within the Maldives. When we started the journey back in the mid of 2011, obviously, we saw Ron visited our property, like Nicola and Smita mentioned, as a part of bringing this to the whole LUX Resort. And when Ron did this session, building a world-class service culture at LUX Resorts and Hotels, it was phenomenal. It just lit up everyone, and everyone got a real great morale booster that kept us going. And obviously, the success of such initiatives really depends on the follow-up that we do and also the continuous daily, weekly, and yearly initiatives that we run through the properties. Now, Smita already mentioned of some of the initiatives within the brand. I like to highlight some of the initiatives within LUX Maldives. What you see in this slide are pictures taken right after some of the Up Your Service refresher sessions we have done. In the last 3 years, we have done refresher sessions throughout. And when we did refreshers, we really customized it to the operation department-wise. And you can see in this picture, the one in the middle is the security team. Everyone has gone through it. And what really this does is that a morale booster. We do it once a year or twice a year. When they go out of the training, they're really motivated to go and make a difference. And then after 6 months, we bring them again, give them a morale booster, come back. So it has to be a continuous process. And I must say the result has been phenomenal.
And Afif, I can see in the top picture on the right-hand side, there's a gentleman who's sort of leading the charge there with his arms pumped up in the air. I do believe that's you.
Yes, that is me. And I love these sessions. And what you see in this slide, Smita already mentioned about as a group on the bigger picture what we're doing, but also as an individual resort, how we have implemented this service structure and the framework of building blocks is important to understand, because really the future and the success of our property depends on what we do with each of these building blocks. And let me share a few examples of how we have implemented each of these building blocks, especially the one at the top on the service leadership, because this is where everything starts. So we have really given a great focus to making sure that service and quality and excellence is the top priority of our leadership team when they go to work, when they address in the briefings. And I'm going to highlight some of the things that we have done over the years. And again, as I said, not many resorts in the Maldives are doing things like what we're doing, which is done so carefully. And you see this picture. This was in November 2012 when we done a refresher of Up Your Service. We brought all our leadership team together, and we all pledged that from November 2012 to November 2013, we're all going to work together to uplift and create a world-class service culture at LUX Maldives, because we had some new managers joined at the time. And it was one of the best sessions we did because all of them stick together for 12 years, and we really did a great job in making sure the service culture was always aligned to where we wanted to be. And then, of course, the daily service initiatives that we do is quite essential. This picture was taken on one of a Monday during 2014, because every Monday from 2014 January until today, we have never missed a single Monday. Every Monday morning, 7:30, all of our senior leadership team will come together, and we spend about 2 hours. And some days we do team building activities. Some days we will just print an insight from Up Your Service website, or someday we will read a leadership blog. And the whole purpose of this is to align all the leaders. Or someday we will just take a big guest complaint and talk about it. And if you look into this one here, let me highlight how we have implemented the common service language within LUX Maldives, because it's one of the key things. And there were a few things we did in the resort. One of the things is called the weekly thought to improve the service communication. And every Monday morning, we send through email to all the notice boards, and in the briefing, we share a weekly service thought. And the whole purpose of this is, again, to align and making sure we post the same message and the focus of service and quality and excellence. Of course, sometimes we write this in-house. Sometimes we take articles from the Up Your Service website, because there are thousands of articles you can use and which applies to our operations. And this comes as a huge inspiration for our team on a weekly basis. And also, we continue with this. We have a weekly leadership message. You can see from here as an example of what we had done one of the week. And this was just done when we did a Fish for Leaders for program for our managers. And we send this on a weekly basis. So always there's something for the managers to be uplifted, to talk about, to be inspired, and to think about it. And of course, then they can go and serve our colleagues. And yes, this is one of my favorite things. It's a very small thing, but let me share the impact of this one. Every day we have a daily quote. Even in the group, we have our daily quote, which is common to all. And we send this through email, notice boards, handwritten in notice boards. And, you know, there was one day that we were a little bit delaying in sending the quote. I had a colleague call me and said, "Hey, where's the quote of today? I'm waiting for it." And recently we did a survey in the resort called 5 Reasons for You to Smile at Work. And to my surprise, with over 75% of employees agree that the daily quote is something that really makes them smile.
Fantastic. Daily reinforcement.
Yeah, such a small thing, but huge difference. And here you see some of the photos that were taken again after various service education. And it's very important that we continue with this trend. And every day there's something. And these are things that which I know that other resorts aren't doing, but we're definitely on top of it. And of course, it does contribute to everything else we do. Now, when new employees join, how we inspire them really matters. So our service orientation here is very different to many other organizations. 60% in the service orientation is focused on service and excellence. So how can we really be on top of the service game in the Maldives or anywhere else? And this is the focus that we do in the orientation. And you know, out of many of this, there's one more thing I like to highlight: the service recognition and rewards. Everyone likes to be recognized. So we implemented a few initiatives, and one of the things that we've implemented here is using the Up Your Service plan. We initiated a monthly award, and we started this in 2012 November, and since then it's been continuously happening. On our monthly team gathering, this is the most anticipated award because every department wants to have this uplifting service award in their department throughout the month. And we have, of course, certain criteria, but the whole purpose of this is to inspire them. And it works very well within the team because everybody wants to have this award. And there are a few other things we did. One of the things is you are a LUX Shining Star. You must have remembered that Smita mentioned about an innovation challenge for the group, and this idea did not come from our management or from me or from the team. It was one of the team members who suggested this idea when we opened the innovation challenges, innovate to increase team members' loyalty, instant recognition program. So it became the winning idea from LUX Maldives, so we implemented it. And you know, if a team member has been found doing something above and beyond the call of duty, a manager can give it to them. And it has a $5 reward. They can redeem this from the team tuck shop or team cafe within the resort, and people love it. Here's the photo which shows when we have given the Market Metrics Award. And the gentleman on the right side is Dominic, our regional director, and on the left we have Sean, our general manager, and we have the assistant manager of SPA. And this award is from the Market Metrics, the highest customer satisfaction score of the month, they get it. And plus we have other awards like Uplifting Creativity Award, the Honesty Award, and it just drives people to do more and more. And now let's look at the results because of these initiatives we have done. On this slide, what you see is our TripAdvisor score. 2 years ago, we were on the 57 out of 169 resorts and hotels and the overall customer satisfaction. Today, we are 6 out of 169. In South Area Atoll, which has most number of resorts in the Maldives on one particular atoll, we were 11 out of 16 2 years ago, and today we are number 2 out of 16 resorts and hotels. And this resort has a long history under many names, but we never won the certificate of excellence. Since we implemented the brand of LUX and Up Your Service Education and the employee engagement initiatives, we have won the certificate of service excellence for consecutively 3 years. And I think this is incredible considering what we have done. And look at this slide here. We won the World Travel Awards. Again, we've never won this before. From 2012 every year as Indian Ocean Leading Hotel and Indian Ocean Leading Beach Resort. Plus 2014, we won Indian Ocean Leading Beach Resort too. So again, the results shows for the work that we have done.
So you've gone from a group in the Maldives, a property in the Maldives that wasn't even on the radar, to being the World Travel Award winner, the best leading hotel in Indian Ocean and beach resort categories. And you've done that for all 3 of the years, 2012, 13, and just now in 2014, after just 1 year into the transformation, because you started in 2011, and by 2012, you were already winning World Travel Awards. Wow.
Absolutely, and the trend shall continue. This slide shows the employee engagement, the overall engagement score of the employees in our annual employee survey, 2011 to 2012. We definitely had a great result there, as you can see, and of course we saw a positive trend from 2012 to 2013. And again, this is something that we will continuously strive and making sure that this continuously grows. So I must say that we had a great journey, and this journey will continue with all the initiatives that we are doing, and there are more plans as we go ahead.
Well, you say there are more plans, Afif. I'm interested to hear. You've successfully accomplished an extraordinary transformation over a very short period of time. Give us an insight, a little peek. What is one additional plan that you're going to continue to do and develop at LUX Maldives?
Yes, we like to get team members involved in things that we do. So I must say there's a very interesting competition coming up among team members, something very small, but I'm sure it's going to make a big difference. We're going to create a competition for team members to come up with a 6-word definition of LUX shining level of service within the resort. So the competition will be open in January. They have to come with the definitions. We're going to select the best definition which we will use within the resort, and when we communicate within colleagues and within departments and team members. So this is one of the competition that is coming up, and then we have something called Week of Appreciation coming up. So one particular department will be selected as the week that other department will go and appreciate and give a morale booster to them. So these are some 2 things out of many which we have planned for the new year coming up.
And knowing you, Afif, and Smita, and Nicholas, and the whole team, the leadership team in LUX Resorts and Hotels, when you say there are many things, I can tell you can count on that. Look at the number of things you've done over the past 3 years and how successful they've been. I'm wishing you all of the best of success going into the future. Thank you, Afif.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to everyone watching, a big thank you for joining us today. Serving to Win is a global webinar series that gives you insights into organizations that are leveraging service transformation to gain a strong and sustainable business edge. To sign up for upcoming webinars from Up Your Service, just send us an email at enquiry@upyourservice.com and we'll keep you in touch. Or you can stay updated on the latest blogs, events, webinars by connecting with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for being here today. We wish you an uplifting day wherever you are.